The show goes live when the plug goes in. Nah, no. I have reached puberty. No, it was poverty, not puberty. Hey guys, I wasn't going to go live tonight. And then, funny thing happened. On my way to bed. Here we go. All right, so there is a change in here tonight. Let's see who can actually notice. No, you shouldn't be able to notice. It's not the type of... Oh, did I turn on the overhead cam? Well, let's check and see. Overhead cam. Oh, look at that. This is me praying. This is me praying. This is me giving you the thumbs up. This is the thumbs down. This is my coffee because I get very sleepy during the shows. So I do have something that's new for me. It's not new for you, but it is new for me. And that is Ecamm just did an update 10 minutes ago. Maybe it's 30 minutes now. It just feels like I just saw it. All right. So wait, this thing is bothering me. We'll fix it. Not a problem. Much better. All right. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but I decided I just, we enjoy each other when we get together. I hope you enjoy it when you get here, whether you're from California or whether you're from Australia. Where else do we have? We got England, we got Canada, we got Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beaches. We got people. What camera am I on? I'm on this one. So I just made this about 15 minutes ago. It's that much water. It was up to here. I've been drinking it little by little. 1/4 teaspoon of regular instant coffee with the caffeine. So the purpose of this is for me to stay awake. Otherwise, I don't need to be drinking on the show, okay? So 1/4 teaspoon of instant coffee, not decaffeinated. A full teaspoon of instant coffee, decaffeinated. I mean, I don't want to fly around my bedroom all night long, okay? I do want to get some sleep tonight. And every time I put too much coffee in here, I'm up until 6 in the morning. Oh, I did some yard work today. I didn't wash my hair. Sorry for the way I look. I'll just squeeze my head together. I'll fluff my hair up and call it a day and stop being so vain. Boy, am I the vainest guy I've ever met. So, a teaspoon of chocolate cocoa powder, a scoop of protein powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of liquid monk fruit. Now that's different from the powdered monk fruit. The liquid monk fruit tastes great, and it's sweet, and it works. But when I get into the powdered monk fruit, I don't like it. It tastes mechanical. And I intended to give it a shot of milk for like the cream in the coffee, but I forgot. So then I came over here, and it was about 9:40, maybe 9:35, 9:40, and I saw that Ecamm did an update. So what the heck is this Ecamm you're talking about? All right, so you're watching me from 4 different cameras. They all have to get plugged into something. So we're going to talk a little bit about live streaming tonight, I guess. I don't know what I'm going to talk about Friday night. Or we might go in a different direction, okay? So you have to have a software that is going to control all the feeds of the camera. So I see Hal is here. I'll say hi to you, Hal, properly, and King and Roy. I'll get to that properly, okay, in a minute. But when you get all these cameras and they come together, let me pull the shirt on. Oh, do we have volume? Yes, I see my meters running. How about that? Oh, I do need to check. Is it anybody's birthday? I need to sing happy birthday. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everybody's birthday this week. Happy birthday to you. So what that was about is I rerouted the stuff on the board, the Yamaha mixing board, and the reverb was way too high. And I cut it back about halfway. It might still be too high, but I will listen to the rewind of this later on. And as you could tell, I took the ZV-1 Mark II out of the loop, and I have the A7C Mark II, which is really a phenomenal camera. If they take this camera, okay, and they put the new chip that's in the A7 Mark V, the new one that Jim Mundy has that camera, and who else has that camera? Randy has the A7 Mark V also, okay, and I even requested one from B&H, but I haven't had stuff from B&H in so long they might not grant that request. So we'll know by Friday or next week if I'm actually going to get the loaner version of the A7 Mark V. Now, the A7 Mark V has a different chip than the FX2, which is my current favorite camera, and the A7C Mark II, which is a great camera. Okay, so you take the A7C Mark II, you take parts of that camera, you take the same configuration, slap on a full-size HDMI, slap on a fan for overheating, slap on 2 card slots, slap on anamorphic abilities, slap on shutter angle, and you have the FX2. So you can do that same game with the A7 Mark IV, which is the camera before the A7 Mark V. So you slap on shutter angle, you slap on this and that and this and that, full-size HDMI. I don't remember if the A7 Mark IV has that or not. You put that on there and you get the FX2. You slap on the FX3. The FX3 is a very high power. Slap on, instead of a 12 megapixel sensor, put a 33 megapixel sensor into that camera and keep all or most all and more of the abilities of the FX3 up the focusing. You have an FX2. So these people that are going like, oh, the FX2 is poo-poo caca, no. They are absolutely, they're disappointed is what they are. And they're coming across as children saying, we were expecting more than we got. It's kind of like, we wanted Sony to address the FX3 and make it an FX3 Mark II. And that's not what they got. And therefore, they go, well, the FX2 is just not good enough for us. Well, you're right. It's not a camera for you at all. It's not a camera designed for, what the FX3 users are using it for. So by grabbing that and saying, oh, this is what's wrong with it, so many different things that are, oh, it's the cable. I'm wondering what's crawling up my leg. It's the blue cable. See, it matches my shirt, the blue cable. Okay, so don't be listening. There'll be a few people that have an FX3 and made content on YouTube that have it right, but not very many. Not very many at all. The camera is probably one of the best. The 3 best cameras, and one coming out, but it's not out yet. So the 3 best cameras that money can buy right now, in terms of the middle money, not the, I have all the money in the world and I can throw it all and get the camera that I want. But even if you do that, there's some things you won't get, okay? So the FX2, and it's because it's got the high-end processor. It's got the AI processor. See, Sony came out with an AI processor. And when we get back to the A7C Mark II, it has a separate processor for the AI circuitry for focusing. So they apply AI, the knowledge of it learning and adapting and whatever else they program into artificial intelligence, and they apply it to the focus module of the camera. That becomes critical in the camera taking a huge, huge step forward in its ability for focus. So the FX2 has that. I'm not sure if the FX3 has the AI processor. Somebody might have to look it up for me. Take your time. We're not going anywhere. We're relaxed. Okay, so the upgrade that I mentioned at the beginning is this chair. So I actually have the comfortable chair, and I started shopping to see if I could get a better upgraded chair because I'm in pain by the time the night ends, and I was going to ask you guys to contribute to buying a new chair for the Christmas desk. We'd have the Christmas chair, but that wasn't needed because this chair is very comfortable. The only problem with this chair is it's like an old style chair with 4 legs. It's very hard to move around. So I started looking for chairs, and out of the corner of my eye, this corner right here, see this corner right here? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw where they move furniture. And they get these sliders. They look like this. It's very, very slick on one side, and it's got like a rubber pad on this side. Okay? So what that does is you're supposed to put the couch, one of the legs on here, and so on and so forth, and you could slide and move your chair. Well, they have the same thing, but in a bigger contraption with different kinds of bottoms, and one of the bottoms is wheels. So I said, well, you know what? If I put a set of wheels underneath this chair, I could do this. Woo! Look at that. I can roll. Okay. So last week, yeah, it was last week, I was having a terrible time trying to get the chair close enough or angled this way. Now all I have to do is kind of swivel, push my feet, and the chair rolls. But as I started doing the research, what happens is the item, let's say your couch or your bureau or your refrigerator, will actually slide off of the slider, and then you've got to use this crowbar, crank bar, whatever, pick up that section and slide this back underneath. So I said, well, that's not going to work. That's just not going to do it. All right. So what this one looks like that I wound up finding, I did a little bit of due diligence, is it kind of looks like that. Okay. And if I turn it this way, there's 4 wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're not big. They're about that size. Okay. So we have a wheel here, a wheel here, a wheel back here, and a wheel back here. There's even some that's got a center wheel. But the ones I bought did not have that. Okay. So what's unique about this is if I put a foot of a chair, like down on that, and I do this and pull forward, the foot can slide, okay? Now, they do add like a rubber pad on there, but you don't want that kind of a mishap while I'm live. It might fluster me. It might tip my chair over. I might get scared. I might get mad, okay? And that's not what I wanted. And then I saw the ones that I bought, and it's the same exact as I just described, but in the center, I'll use a pen. Where's my overhead camera since I have that ability? Okay, so now I'm on the overhead camera, and I'm on Carlos's pad right here. And then I need to go this way. All right, so pretend this is the pad. So what they have on the sliders that I bought is they've got an inner box like that. Okay, I wonder if that'll make it look better. I'm not much into artistry. And do you remember in the old days there used to be like a sunken living room, or a sunken living room up north from compared to Miami? In Miami they don't do sunken living rooms. It was a formal way of doing a living room. Okay, so This center part here is actually sunken by maybe 3/4 of an inch. So even if why did I do that? I was explaining this to you. So even if this foot slides this way, it can't go past here. It would have to jump up 3/4 of an inch and jump out. So it's got its own swimming pool. I call it a swimming pool, or sunken living room. And I was thinking that solves that problem where the people are complaining, okay, that it keeps sliding off the slider. So now I have this. I can move this out of the way for the moment. And with the 4 wheels and this center section sunken, I can push back, and even if it slides to the one side, like I just pushed back, now if I want to come forward, I can just pull up. Okay. Oh, I'm hitting the box over here. And it's saved from buying a chair. It saved me from going, oh, please help me buy a chair. Use the description down below, and you know where you normally give just to support me and stuff. Well, we're going to do a collection for a chair. No, we're not. We're going to use this chair because I like this chair. I like the fact that I can move over to one side, and it's got this wood scroll stuff up there. And if I sit right in the middle, it hides most of it, okay? But if I go over to put my butt to the one side, you see a little bit of that wood, and it gives it a little bit more classy kind of a look, you know? So how much was it? It was like $30. So we have a fancy living room chair in the Christmas room. We have it propped up. I can roll. I can push back and see what's giving me a problem here. And it's the earbuds, which I'm not using. I'm not using the earbuds. The earbuds are right here. Okay. So let's see. Do I have this on correctly? Yes. There we go. So we got the chair problem. Now, just as important, and I really want to say even more important, how many times have you seen me suffering with trying to see the words on what camera I'm on? Like right now, I'm on the Olympus EM1 Mark II. Okay. Right now, I'm playing with my fingers, and I'm see if I turn that on. I give myself away on what I'm doing. Here's the mouse. Okay. I'm playing with this. This is a cap for the XLR. I just pop that on to keep it from getting damaged or anything. And now they made it so if you actually have Ecamm is the software that's controlling everything that's being sent up into the airwaves. That's the software, Ecamm. And I have that link to that software down below because they pay higher. If somebody buys Ecamm, subscribes to it, I get as much as up to $17, which is Chick-fil-A. Here I come. Strawberry shake, Chick-fil-A sandwich. And sometimes I feel like the waffle fries, and sometimes I feel like the macaroni and cheese. It's just the way I'm feeling, okay? So that made me lose my train of thought. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh. So the one major thing is I can't, no matter how big I make the window, it doesn't change the font size. So I'm going to show you. Let me open up the back room here. I know most of you are not interested in this, but keep your pantyhose on, all right? Seriously, guys. Okay, so now you're seeing all the screen, all right, that I see. You don't see this, okay? On the live show, you only see the window where Peter, which is me, sitting in, That's the only thing that actually gets broadcasted. Now, I'm broadcasting left to right, top to bottom. Now, what's different is I actually can't see these words here. I don't know if you. I think you guys can see the mouse, right? So see how this says Sony ZV-1? It's the second view. I have a Sony ZV-1B, and then I have Sony ZV-1A. This is so tiny that I had a hard time saying, "Oh, where's the camera? I'm looking for the camera." Well, they made it now with a slider. If I open this up right here, this slider right here allows me. Okay, see these words? See how tiny these are? I can't read this crap. Okay, this is just too small. Even with my glasses on, I can't read it. So watch this window here, which is my list of cameras. Okay, and I will try to find where the heck the slider is. Okay, so this is the default. See how small that is? Now, you're probably looking at it on your phone so you can see it very clearly. All right, I'm 12 feet away from the screen, so it is not clearly. So they just added this. Enlarge the font for these kind of windows, okay? The overlays and stuff like that. So if I just click on this slider button and I go, if I click on this slider button, I had it at 24. Let's see what the largest, all right, that's 30. I don't mind 30. That makes it very nice for me to see it. So let's say I want to be a little bit conservative. I'll come back down to 28. I don't want to go lower. I'll go down to 26. How about 24? Now, I deserve to be peaceful while I'm doing this show. So now I could change the size of this. So see the top right where it says Olympus EM1 Mark II? If I unlock this, and I can clearly see right there that I can unlock it, and I scroll all the way down, I could see the names and the titles of things that I could pop up and things that are turned off. So if they're grayed out, they're turned off, and if they're white, they're turned on. This is worth $1 million. Checks in the mail, okay? I have asked for this since the beginning, that I cannot see, I cannot see, I cannot see, okay? And how many years have I been with Ecamm? And they just put that on now. So I'll turn this so you could see everything off again. And that just makes it super wonderful. I am thrilled with the fact that I can see. I'm on the Sony ZV-1. There you go. And I don't feel so blind because I do the squinting and everything, and the two softboxes are aiming at me. Well, they're not aiming at me. That's not true. For you guys that are into lighting, they're aiming up on the person on the side of me. I'm in the feathered part of that one is aiming over here. So this light here is the feathered part of the light. Makes it softer. Okay. Now you can get a different kind of material on there. Okay, like Roscoe sells different materials, and you can put that on there. But the material that came with it, I just, instead of aiming it here, when Lewis, Mr. Camera Junkie, was sitting over here, he was next to me, it was aiming straight at him. Now nobody could sit here because there's a table, and this is my work, my board, okay, and this board is the mixing board. But the light box on that side of the room is basically aiming, it's not even in the camera. All right. So that was updated 30 minutes ago for me. Okay. And that is cute. And there's other things that they updated. I just got so excited when I saw that one part. I'm still trying to drink down some coffee because I feel actually the coffee's working. I feel less sleepy now than when I started, because I worked out in the yard today, And when I worked out in the yard, you get tired. And for me, I use it as exercise. I can even feel myself trembling a little bit. Okay, but at 72 years old, I do need to get the exercise. Heck, I got to carry these cameras when I face them at me or at you, and they're heavier than an iPhone. Okay, so it becomes important to keep my muscles moving. So I got myself feeling tired. I'm tired, okay? But I'm waking up little by little as the show goes on tonight. And we'll probably repeat a lot of this crap on Friday night. So if you want to come Friday night, spend some time. Okay, so anyway. Let's go. See, now the words for the computer itself are small. I can't read on the top. It says edit, profile, source, camera, mic, view, blah, blah, blah. Those are tiny. But now I can read all my cameras. Yes, sir, Marie. I love that. And then when we get off the air, probably tomorrow, I'm going to look through and see what else they did. All right, so if there's anybody watching like Luis, Mr. Camera Junkie, or anybody that's more up on Ecamm than I am, how do I find the list of the things that they updated? So once I click download, it downloads it, and that list is gone. So they will give you a list of things that were changed, okay? Notes pertaining to this release. And then they disappear, and I have no idea where to find those notes. So this is the first time they have gone and actually changed the functionality of the show. So the one of the other key things that I really want, so a big thank you to Ecamm, Glenn and Ken, the twins up in the Massachusetts area. Okay, thank you. I know they don't watch my show, okay, but I do have to say this made it where it's very, very pleasing to do the show now. I'm not squinting terribly to see something as simple as, gee, what camera am I on? All right. Too much talk for that, but you want to know something? It is a really big key for me, honestly. Okay, so we're almost on the 30. What time is it? It's easier to see the time here. 10:28. Okay, that's how small the fonts are. So the fonts need to be a lot bigger. And yes, I do have the large fonts on. It's just part of life. So did I get through everything I wanted to tell you? I told you about my smoothie with the coffee in it. Told you about my chair. It's on rollers now. And it's the comfortable chair. I still like the format where I have the desk, the Christmas desk, and I'm standing behind it. I've done that show that way since early 2000s, okay? And then I relented. I watched Tom Buck. I watched just about everybody else. They're all sitting in a chair. I kind of like the weatherman. Stands there, points over here. I was able to walk around, do the walk of focus. I bet most of you guys do not remember the walk of focus. The walk of focus is where I tested the focus on the camera. But the thing is, nowadays, the camera does so well, the walk of focus is just eats up some time if you're trying to make longer content, okay? So now I don't do the walk of focus. I could do the roll of focus. I can roll around the room. Okay. So let's say hi to King. Hi, King. Love you, buddy. Good evening. Good evening back to you. I hope you're doing super duper fantastic. And Hal is here. Love you. And Debbie. Hal, how are you guys doing? Everything is still working, thank God. Very well. I thank him over and over because I'm so grateful. He just stepped in and helped me, okay? So the ZV-1 Mark I is still on here, okay? It replaced basically the Lumix because I've got the Lumix up for sale with the 50 Anybody want to buy the Lumix S5 Mark II? Okay, it's $2,500. You get the camera. You get the 10 to 18 Sigma lens mount for the Panasonic camera, which Sigma and Panasonic are in bed together, basically. They've designed everything. As a matter of fact, Sigma makes some of the lenses for Panasonic. Actually, Sigma makes some of the lenses for Leica. So those three are in cahoots together. Sigma knows the focus system. Maybe they even helped design it. So it's going to actually work better on a Lumix camera than it will on a camera they have to reverse engineer. Like, let's say, a Canon, of course, and Nikon, and wherever else you can get the Lumix. But this 10 to 18 2.8 lens comes with it. And then I have a 50 millimeter Lumix 1.8 lens, not Sigma, but Lumix. Then I have an 85 millimeter, and Jim Monday can attest to the fact that an 85 millimeter is very killer. An 85 millimeter Lumix 1.8 lens. So all three lenses and the camera is listed for sale. It's basically the whole frickin' system. And it puts everybody right into business. And why did I do that? Because I seem to be leaning very heavily towards the Sonys. They do as well as everybody else now. Some things they do better. But the one major thing that Sony does that nobody else does, that I just can't forgive the other camera companies for not doing it. And many of you will be able to say, well, that is not an important thing for me. And for me, it is the key reason. Okay? Now, if the camera was, let's say it was a Fuji that did it. Oh, I'm talking about recording and broadcasting the gyro data. So the gyro data, there's a gyroscope built into most of the newer Sony cameras, including the little one that you see on here. You just turn off the stabilization and you let your computer do it. Now, it is an extra step, part of the cost of admission, okay? But you get, like, you put a gimbal on the camera without having the stick and the gimbal, and you're holding it, and it's got a weight down here and motors over here, okay? And then you've got to balance it out for every lens that you put on. None of that. When you use a Sony camera, like this camera right here, its own stabilization, I call, the way I say it is, it sucks. But a much nicer professional way is, it's poor. The internal image stabilization is poor. But when I turn off all the image stabilization and I put this in my computer, I run it through another software first. That's the extra step that I was talking to you about, okay? And then it comes out and goes into my regular folder system. One day I should show you guys my folder system. And after it's in the folder system, it's got the file name, blah, 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 XYZ324499 hyphen stabilized. And when I run it, it's completely stabilized. Now, for me, that becomes so incredibly important that I will give up just basically every other camera company for that purpose. I don't like to walk around and talk to you and record. That's called vlogging, you know. I don't like to go to my brother's house, or if I was invited to anybody else's house, and have all this jumbling and shaking around. And then say, oh, it's not too bad. Well, that's not what I see. I see it as too bad. Well, I can make it gone. And it's going to cost me one extra step. I'll pay that price. Other people go like, no, I don't want to do that. Well, you know what? That's why we have different workflows. Some people use LUTs. They buy LUTs from all these different people. I've learned how to tune this stuff in all by myself. No LUT needed. Thank you very much. Okay? So that makes the Sony my number one recommendation. Because let's say a guy like, let's pick somebody. Howl. Okay? Hal does a lot of video, and he goes, Peter, what camera should I get? Okay, and I'm going to say, well, who's going to use it? He might say me and my wife. And his wife's name is Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you, sweetheart. You're looking good today. You look good every day, so I didn't mean it like that. So he might say, well, Hal might say, I really don't want to do the extra step. So what camera has good stabilization? I'll say, well, this one right here, the A7C Mark II. Look in the upper right-hand corner before it disappears. The A7C Mark II has Sony's top-end stabilization, which is now starting to trickle down into some of the cameras. But most with a big MOST do not have the dynamic active image stabilization. And the dynamic active image stabilization makes it so that the camera is just very good. Not as good as if you put a gimbal. Not as good as if you run it through Gyro Flow. That's the software I use, okay? But because that camera will record the gyro data, it makes it magical. So actually what it's doing is it's giving you another choice. So you could choose to do it that way or not. You can't choose that on any other system. The only other system that knocked my socks off that has it is Canon. And no, it does not have it on the Canon cameras you would buy. But if you buy the C50, which is similar to a FX2, it's got a good size sensor in it, and it's got full video features built in it. It's got a fan built in it. It's got a full-size HDMI built in it. And yeah, they want $3,800 for that camera. Yeah, see? That's what happens. That is what happens. Okay? But you can buy a Canon camera now that's got the gyro data being recorded. And that is the Canon C50, the Canon C80, and what's higher than the C80. Whatever that one is, it has it also. Now the rumors say that it will be coming out where the camera will be able to record the gyro data on the new R6 Mark III that's coming out. So that camera is due out. I don't know. I think it's fairly soon. So it's going to have that. But what I saw was a little disappointing in that it will record it, but it doesn't give you the profiles for the different lenses where the Canon C50 does. So this camera right here, the ZV-1, my FX2, when this rotates to the AC Mark II, all of the lenses that Sony you can put on there, they all have the profiles already built in, and the software Gyro Flow, which is free, by the way, so I'm not trying to sell you a program, okay? That has all the profiles listed, and they got profiles coming in all the time. So it actually becomes good. It's the most complete one. So that's why I stay with the Sony. Now, the R6 Mark III has no profiles now, but I think as time goes on, the Gyro Flow is on version 1.6.3, okay? That's the version number of that free software. I think as they go on, they will have added abilities. And that software will climb and work its way to the center, because all the people that complain about stabilization where they don't like this and they don't like that and so on and so forth, okay, that's all solved with an external software. So the battle will become, I don't want to add an extra step. I don't want external software. That's what will happen. That's where we're heading. That's where the fights will become. So get your gloves ready so that you can join the fight. Now, for me, as the saying goes, for me in my house, I'll take the Gyro Flow because I do want a solid as I can have it image stabilization. So I got stuck at Howl. Hi, Hal. Love you, buddy. And here's Roy. Love you, Roy. How are you doing tonight? Good day, Peter. Slap on false color 2. I didn't see the whole list, so that's why I asked. Anybody that knows where the list of features are as they update it, I would greatly appreciate either you, if you've got my text me with it, write it in here, or actually email me, because I'd like to see if they went with that step. That's a basic foundational step. So I'm hoping. So slap on false color. And Sky says, hi gang, I hope Sly is all right. I haven't heard from her. Was she on last night? I think she goes on Tuesday nights. So I guess I would have to look to see. So I'm a little out of the loop, Scotty. I have found some really nice chairs at secondhand shops and church donation type stores. Well, you see the wood on this chair? Don't you think that's kind of nice? You're not going to see that kind of a chair in most people. You're going to see a desk chair. And that desk chair is designed where it breathes and all that kind of stuff. And this just makes it unique. But it loves the floor. It just sticks with the floor. So just getting up at the end of my show where I'm relaxed and my muscles get relaxed, and now I have to do some pushing. Well, to push this chair back without the rollers that are on it now, it was easier to push the table forward. It sounds kind of silly. It was easier to push the table forward than it was to push this chair back. It's got those carved wooden, all that carving that you see, all that, you see it over there? That all goes down the legs. And it's pretty. You don't see that part, but it's old hard wood, whatever they used to make wooden legs out of, and it just won't slide on this floor. So now it will. I got the rollers. I got my little swimming pool roller things, so I won't fall over and fall backwards. Okay. So, but that's a good idea, because I do know those shops exist, Scotty. That's a great idea. And in Victorian times, most furniture was on wheels. A great idea. Well, I was going to look into drilling a hole. So that's the bottom of the leg right there. Bzzz, and putting a caster on there. But I'm more likely to drill it the wrong way than to put one of these things on the bottom. Okay? And with this swimming pool here, it'll keep the leg from sliding off. So the most it could slide around is in that center square. Let's raise this up. Okay. The leg of the chair, the most it could slide is from there to there, from there to there, from there to there, from there to there. It would take a heck of amount of force to jump. It's 3/4 inches deep. Take a heck of amount of force to jump that out. I'm not rough on getting up. I just want to kind of like scooch backwards and get up like very civilized fashion. What kind of chairs were used in medieval times? Making a reference to the attraction in Florida. Oh, what attraction is there in Florida? We've got, see, now the chair rolls easy. Okay. We've got all the parks, Disney and Friends and stuff. So I don't know, Scotty. I made this real good tonight. I really got to say that tastes great. So you're going to have to... Roy, we bought some chairs from the 1500s. I'm expected to renovate them. You go take a nap until the feeling passes, Roy. Okay? Then, if you get all these urges to go and redo the chairs and stuff, go take a nap until the feeling passes. My dad used to say that. You get these brilliant high ideas, just go take a nap until the feeling passes. Better than buying 1,500 shares from 2026. Oh, Scotty's making a funny. Okay, so Roy is talking to Scotty, and Scotty is saying, "Pop, pop, 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 admirable." Peter, do you ever delve into inkjet printers? Okay, so you're sending me on an interesting topic, Scott, because I have some really nice pictures, and I have some really nice pictures that I have blown up and put on my wall. And I'm looking for ways to earn some extra income because I'm on Social Security, and you can see my channel is not huge, so it's not bringing in like these guys that have hundreds of thousands of people, okay? So I'm thinking like if I learn, I need to learn how to make a site online where I can actually sell some of my nicer pictures. And not only will they adorn my wall as art, they can be on somebody else's wall as art. I can sign them, okay, as the photographer. And so I've been looking into that, and then I got into the internal debate. Do I job out somebody printing the images for me? And then my Mr. Perfection kicks in. I prefer to print them out and make sure they come out exactly the way I like them. Okay? But there is a couple of houses that do gallery wraps. They do the printing there. And it is on canvas. And I happen to like a gallery wrap. So I'm just starting to dive into that, Scott. So anybody that has any experience on selling their art online, you can share it with me, and me would be very, very grateful, okay? Because I don't think I've ever sold one. I've sold thousands of prints because as a wedding photographer, you're selling prints, okay? And I mean, I've even gotten the question, why is your 4x6 $20 when you can get them printed for 15 cents? All right, if you don't know the answer to that one, okay, I won't be sarcastic. I'll answer it in a plain way. You're not selling paper. As a photographer, when you sell a print for any reason, of whether it's in a wedding or if you're going to sell art, you're not selling paper. I mean, you can go to Office Depot and Walmart and wherever else, Staples, and you could buy paper. I'm not in the market of selling paper. It's the image that's on that paper that I'm selling. So when I actually shoot a wedding and the bride will go, I've had brides' mothers ask me, why is it so much money when I could just go to Walgreens? I'll just take this picture and have Walgreens, reproduce it. And I will gently say it's copyrighted. It's my right to sell or not to sell, and it's my right to sell the prices, set the prices. That's how I make my money. It's not that I'm, greedy and want to gouge people, but this is my inventory. This is what I have to sell. And when I put that up for sale, you're buying my expertise to make that image. You're buying the image. You're not buying the paper. Now, I just can't hand you the image out in midair. Okay, so it's got to be on some kind of a medium. It can be on a USB stick. It can be on a print. It can be, back in those days, it used to be on the CDs, where I would give the bride the CD with all the pictures on there. I would do that right up front because they start bartering, okay? And then they'll actually start to take your pictures with the proof book and take pictures of your picture so that they don't have to buy it from you. Well, the way I circumvented, here's all the pictures I took for your wedding. And that's part of the price of when they hired me to do the weddings. And if I were going to go into it again today, I would only do that. I wouldn't sell anything else. Well, I wouldn't push to sell anything else. You never turn down a sale. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So I do have a couple of my prints hanging in other people's homes, but they have been gratis, meaning I gave it to them to hang in their house. Okay, there's only one picture I ever took, and I gave it to them gratis, and it was back when we were fidgeting between digital and film, and it's one of my favorite pictures that I took, and I never took it upon myself to redo it, but I just loved looking at it, and it was so simple. You're gonna go, oh geesh, what do you find in that? It was actually just a pack of matches. Open the top, so now the pack of matches is open. Get yourself a macro lens and get right up so close that you actually see the flint on each of the matches that they have there. And then I blew that up to a 24 by 30 and I got more comments on that picture than almost all my other pictures. And then one day somebody that they were in my heart, and they went, can I have that? And okay. And it's gone. Now, it's been many years, okay, so I don't even know if they have it anymore. But that was one of my best pictures, and it's a one-off. I can't find the negative. I should reproduce it, honestly. But it is what it is. So back to Scotty's question. So I don't know if I would want to be anal and don't want anybody else to control it, but I really do like the look of canvas in a gallery wrap. So you know what a gallery wrap is? Is if you took a frame, picture this as a frame, not the center. The frame is open, whole, right? There's no picture in a frame. Do I have a frame? No. Okay. Then you take the picture and you lay it on top, and then you make the picture a little bit bigger than your frame, and you wrap it around all the way, and then you staple it in the back. And you pull as you do that. And they call that a gallery wrap. And when you do it with canvas, it's a piece of art all on its own. So that actually becomes quite interesting. King says, wow, Peter, is that an Heron from Herman Miller? Are you talking about the chair? I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know. I'd have to ask my brother. He's into that kind of stuff. He's into labels. Like, he won't buy a Genesis. He would buy a Mercedes. I'd buy the Genesis. I think it's prettier. It's cheaper. It's quieter. But it doesn't say Mercedes on it. And my brother wants the label that says Mercedes. If it doesn't say Mercedes, I don't want the car. There's so many wonderful answers to that statement. Okay? So I really can't answer you. I'm not side swiping you. Not side swiping you. I'm not avoiding. Better language. I'm not avoiding the question. I really just don't know the answer. Okay? So I'll mention it to him, and if I happen to remember on Friday night, I'll say it. Roy says to Scott, but this is good for all of us. Inkjet printers are only good if you are constantly using them and they don't dry out, and that is very true. So if I buy one and I sell one print a month, if I get into that, that doesn't do the inkjet printer a whole lot of good, because when it dries out, you got to use a lot of ink to flush it out, and you might even have to have a service call. And the Canon giant printers, they actually make it, you can change the head on the print head, on the printer. Take the head out, put a new one in. So it does create a problem. So the happy medium is to fudge the part where it's not as good as an inkjet printer. So an inkjet printer just so you know, when it is properly calibrated and it's a high-end one, actually makes a print better than if you did it with an enlarger and it printed directly onto photographic paper. Now, how do I know that? Because I did my own comparison. I took the same print and I printed it. I sent it out to the lab. That's a professional lab. It's called Miller's. Okay. They're one of the larger labs in the United States. And then at that time, I had a 9500 Epson inkjet printer. 9500 or 9700? One of those. Okay. And then I had software that was specifically designed to res up your file in steps and give you a knockout print. And I figured, oh, this is going to be interesting because I didn't know which one was going to win. And you know which one won? The inkjet printer. And you know it wasn't by just a little bit. It was by a lot. What the heck? I was very surprised. I expected the light that you broadcast onto the in the dark room, or whatever way they do it these days. Like at Costco has it so you can print a digital file to a wet process. But Costco has added, not all of them, by the way. I don't even know if our Costco still has the photo department. But they added the inkjet printers, the large ones, the really big ones that the paper's on a roll. So inkjet printers definitely has opened up a big topic. So Scott says I have 3. So if you have 3, you're rolling. You've got some product rolling through them. Then they're great. But if you use it only every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, even my own printer here, which is an all-in-one copy machine, printer, fax machine, scanner. How often does you have to clean the heads? You've got to use them. I used to be in the practice of printing out a test sheet every day or every other day. So Roy says, you can usually tell the lighting by the highlights in the subject's eyes. And Lewis says, Peter and friends, hello, hello. Hi, Lewis in Canada. So Roy is in Australia. So it went that way, my signal. And then Canada is that way. I am flying high. And I don't know, maybe it's the caffeine. But I did put only 1/4 teaspoon of the regular instant coffee in here. Pray for my mom's surgery next week, 28th of January. Catalina is her name. Thank you. And I can't see. Now that's smaller than what you're seeing on there. So it looks like he wrote arm surgery. Oh, arm surgery. Ta-da! I got it. Okay, I got it. I got to make my coffee a little more powerful next time. All right, so she's having arm surgery, so we pray for Catalina right now. All of us who are the praying type of people, we lift her up in the name of Jesus. We pray for her surgery to be successful, that God directs and guides the hands of the surgeons, gives them wisdom, gives them surety, and that the surgery comes out good, and that Catalina's recovery is very, very fast. And we all pray that and agree in the name of Jesus. And everybody who agrees with that prayer, say amen. Amen. So that's something you can get on this show. You don't get most others. Coffee time for me now. Oh, yeah, I forgot, Roy. You are sensitive to coffee. Debbie says hi back. Hi, Debbie. Love you, Debbie. If I used Canon C50, is a no-brainer. I've never used that one. I'd like to be able to. I don't think that B&H would allow me to to try that camera. I think the price is too high. I can always try, but I am intrigued with that camera. The wife likes old things, probably why she keeps me. Are you saying you're old? Roy, are you old? Having things on wheels is my next goal. That sounds like a very general statement, but yeah, when you think about it, pulling my refrigerator in and out to clean under it is a bear, and it's got 2 rollers in the front. Why can't they? You can finish the sentence. It should be that way. So you're right, King. There's some things that should be on rollers. I put casters on all my light stands. My new place has carpeting, and I had to take them off. Or put bigger casters. They make a really good sized caster, Roy, and it rolls beautifully on carpet. Can you please share your Discord link? I don't have a Discord account, King, believe it or not. That's why we get together here, I guess, because we get to do all our things back and forth. I had one, but it's been so many years, it's probably defunct. If they clean out their computer system, my guess is that they probably have erased it, but I don't remember anything about it at all. Randy, I thought you would be sleeping. Randy is here. Easiest way for moving chairs without spending money. Hi, folks. Hi, Randy. Love you, buddy. Randy has been doing his working out in the yard, pavers and leveling holes and carrying all kinds of stuff around. He's gonna be built up. Remind me not to get him mad. One punch and I'll be down. So hi to you, Randy. When I get the urge to renovate the wife's stuff, I manage to fight it off. Like Dad says, go to sleep until the feeling passes. Canvas prints can be a bit too coarse. I do like metal prints. That's why there's a lot of choices out there now, huh, Roy? They got all kinds of stuff. They even have acrylic where it can be floating on acrylic. I had a client once tried to print their own on black paper. They thought their printer was broken. I wonder what the motivation was, unless you're joking. Mark is in the house, and he's saying Peter's in the house. Hi, Mark. How you doing, buddy? How is Chicago? Are you chilly up there? Chilly Mark, chilly Mark, chilly Mark. Is that making you want to go to Wendy's and get yourself a chili and a nice frosty? Chocolate frosty and a chili? They go very well together. Anybody that says they don't, they haven't tried it together. It really works. So how you doing, Mark? I love you, buddy. I really do. You've been with me for so long that I'm actually surprised because you notice some of the other younger guys, they're gone. Gone, gone, gone. The lake of fire, the ring of fire, wrong words. Back in the 70s, when I was tough enough for Wendy's, I had a van to make proofs before the reception. Gosh, I never did that. I wonder how did that work out? That's incredible. Did the people just buy it? Well, yeah. Because if you got in the habit, at a wedding there's tables, and if you go to the table and you take a picture of Bob and his wife and John and his wife and Greg and his wife and Bill and his girlfriend on one side and wife on the other, and then they see that and they could buy it right there, that would probably do some pretty good selling. Not a bad idea. Wow. Did you have somebody out there doing it while you were inside gathering the pictures? So Mark says, I purchased the Canon RF 45mm. Oh my God. 1.2 today. That must have cost you a pretty penny, but you're going to love that lens. You're going to love, love, love. Now, just don't forget one thing. It's got other settings other than 1.2. You don't have to stay stuck. It'll work like an f5.6 if you need a 5.6 or a 3.5 or a 2.8. It'll also work at a 1.8. It'll work at a 1.4, but then it'll make magic for you at 1.2. And that's the magic of why you buy that lens. Yeah, that's a sleeping giant on Canon's list. Here's Carlos in California. Hey, Peter and everybody. How you doing, Carlos? I love you, buddy. I hope everything is okay out in the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. And I skipped you, Roy. Sorry about that. German cars are too complicated now. You know, just to put the car in forward, we got a doot, 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 bang. You didn't see that, right? That'll have to get removed before it goes up on YouTube. Here's Jeff, all the way in Australia, just doing his thing. Daytime over there, nighttime over here. What is our temperature over here? Why, when I think of you, Jeff, I think of temperature. That ain't right. You're much more than temperature, unless you're hot-headed. Are you hot-headed, Jeff? Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. I have to go through all that. Wait a minute. I know an easier way. What's the temperature outside?
It's currently 69 degrees.
We all hear it together. See, that's the easiest way to handle that. What's the temperature outside? Boom, she answers. So it's 69 degrees. Now, and, she doesn't tell you like feels like. It's the feels like that gets you. The feels like temperature, because if the wind is clipping a little bit, it'll go right through my bones. Remember, I'm built for South Florida. So, you got any more trips coming up, Jeff? You were tripping quite often. It's those drugs, I know. You were tripping quite often, going here, going there, going here, going there. Now you seem to have settled down a little bit. So, I use laser prints for sample prints and send away for the final product. A2 printers are not cheap. Yeah, they're not. And mine didn't survive the house move. Yeah. But once you have that, you can make some pretty nice prints, right, Mark? And... I'm calling Roy Mark. Sorry. I thought Mark was telling me that he had that. But it's not him. It's Roy that has the A2 printers. So, King says German cars are nothing. All right, so he likes the German cars. And, that's perfectly valid. They make a mighty fine car. But you know what else I like? I like the Volvo. I think that's fantastic. I'm actually liking Cadillacs more and more. For a while there, Ford was building some nice solid. I'm partial to U.S. cars because I guess I'm in Miami. Guess where Miami is? What country do you think Miami is? What's a good printer for photography? Well, you got to start with size. Okay, so if you want 13 by 19 is the largest, then you could save some money. You don't need to buy the bigger money. But then you need to look for the ultrachrome inks or archival inks. If it's ultrachrome is a name for the inks that Epson uses. And they're good for many, many years, okay? Because what will happen is they will fade out. So you don't want pictures that you're going to hang on your wall for art. And when you're dead and gone, they start to fade out and nobody's going to know where your files are. Oh, where was his computer again? Oh, we trashed it. And then it'll be gone. So you want archival inks. So Epson makes good printers and Canon makes good printers. And I'm sure there's other good ones, but those are the two that my mind goes towards. But again, if you don't use it often enough, they do dry out and it gets costly and messy. And that makes that sentence very important. Okay, so Roy says my last 3 cars were Mercedes, but I'd never buy the new ones. You're buying an old one? Okay, so King and Roy are at it. They're in their conversation. We have an Arctic blast coming through. He's in Chicago. Will be minus 35. I didn't even know that existed in real life. Thursday night and Friday morning. So what is today? Today for me is Wednesday. So after it crosses 12, it'll be Thursday. So for me tomorrow night, you're going to go into minus 35. I don't understand that, Mark. How could people survive in that kind of a temperature? Minus 35, doesn't it go right through the wall and make your house cold? Do you have long underwear and blankets and more blankets? And then blankets on top of that? Seriously. That's when you need somebody to cuddle with, keep you warm. Roy says there was time between the wedding and the reception to print out the proofs. So how did you present them? I find that very intriguing. But I'm not doing weddings anymore, so I need to sell my art prints, something that would decorate somebody's wall and look pretty. And I have many pictures that would be great on a wall. So then we got pricing, then we got manufacturing, then we got shipping. So you know what? I'm going to be doing some research on YouTube. How do I sell my prints? How about if I do it this way? How do I sell my prints online? Because I'm certainly not going to have a gallery showing. So King is talking to Roy, and Roy is talking to King. And Roy says it's 20 degrees Celsius there. When you can, give me the interpretation, because I don't know if that's cold or warm. So I have to guess. So King and Roy are chatting, which is great. Full archive paper is worth a look. Yeah, anything for prints, King. Look for archival if you're going to print prints that are going to be more than proofs, where they're going to be gone in a year. Because if you haven't experienced it, they fade. They really do. Okay. And what happened to Randy? All right, I made it to the bottom. I got my my points in for tonight. Well, I'll probably repeat them all again on Friday night. I'm just enjoying the Wednesday night because I enjoy getting together with you guys. I could say, oh, I really love to do live streaming and stuff. No, it's you guys. If it was all new people in here and I didn't know you, I don't think I would be enthusiastic about next Wednesday going live. But because I know King's going to be in here, Randy, Scott, Hal. Oh, Carlos. I always get excited when I see Carlos. So that's terrific. So, Randy, come on, do your thing. Can you believe I do not remember? If I had to say what you're saying is, I don't remember it. I think it's something about smiling. Smiling, stay smiling and be safe. Or be safe and stay smiling. Oh, 20C is only about 68. That would be very comfortable for me. I'd be able to turn off the air conditioners and save money on my electricity bill, which gets very high here. Okay. Now, I do understand that they have over 20, you know how they do the energy rating? They got 21 and 22 air conditioners. And I was thinking of maybe putting one like that in here when the money gets a little more flushy. I only have less than a year to go to pay out my my credit cards. Then I'll be able to charge on credit cards all over again. It sounds so bad, doesn't it? So a couple of weeks ago, I donated my last car to someone who really needed one. I pray God blesses you 100-fold. Not that you'll have 100 cars, but that you'll get the value of it, because that's a beautiful thing to do. I be having a glass of wine to keep me warm. Now let me see. How is he saying it? I'll be having a glass of wine to keep me warm. I'll be having a glass of wine to keep me warm. Now that'll tell you how many glasses he's had. I'm playing with you, Mark. Don't get pissed off. It's fun. You're fun to play with. All right, guys. Randy is giving me my sign out. I am ready to go, and I would tell you what I think I'm going to do, but it's always a surprise. When I say I'm going to bed, I wind up not going to bed. When I say I'm going to eat, I wind up not eating. When I say I'm going to fly a kite, guess what? I never ever fly the damn kite. So, oh, now Mark is coming in with the girlfriend. And my girlfriend, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. Thanks, Peter. I will look at them I will look at them printers. I'm going to go out. I'm going to look at them printers. I'm going to get me a printer. Thanks, Peter and Roy. All right, boys and girls. Peter's going to go bye-bye now. God willing, and the bridge isn't up, right? God willing, and the bridge isn't up. I will see you Friday night. And my goal, what's my goal? My goal is the sky and not the grave. Think about that. My goal is the sky and not the grave. I have a t-shirt with that. And I even have them for sale. I think I used to have them down in the description. The description's gotten interesting. You guys ought to go look at it. All right. Love you guys. Randy is saying good night to all of us. Goodbye, everybody. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Even though it's empty, it's got a little in there. Cheers. Let's do it this way. Cheers. Bye.